Greetings, my lovely cats. So we have the mount update, and I'm going to try to do my best to make it as easy for you as possible. Now, it involves a lot of randoms, like seriously randoms, but you can avoid most of it if you stick to what actually matters. Now, if you go into the writing grounds in here, you will see the mount option, and this is already happened live today, and you will see a couple of things here. You will see the animal research adornment workshop, which I'm going to talk about later, but it's more of straightforward than the rest. But again, it does involve RNG, but less worse than everything else. And you have the breeding center and search option and mount management. Mount management involves all of the mounts that you are having that you have already obtained. Now, when it comes to searching, you are using something called whistles, as you can see here, and they are linked to something called proficiency, or whatever the fuck the name is. But anyway, if you click it here, it will show you the following. If you have a lot of this prophecy something, you are more likely to get gold, more likely to get purple, and less likely to get blue. All the way up to 100k. This means you have almost 0.1% chance to get gold. Which is not really much, but it is better than absolutely nothing. Okay, so this is when it comes to the quality. These are not the only qualities. There is a fourth quality, which is red. Red mounts comes only from breeding, which I'm going to explain too. So how to obtain these whistles? You have the bundles, obviously. As for the free ways, you can go into the VIP store. You can buy 5 as early as VIP 3, I think, I'm not sure. And this is related to something else I'm going to show you later. And here you can buy another 10, which means you can buy 15. And then there should be another events like riding the tribes, and there should be in the warehouse and treasury here another 4, which you can obtain from those two. So far, this is basically it at the current moment. And of course, there should be a login event right now that should reward you with these. And let me check in here. Yeah, Empire Horse Range. This one is going to give you, and there should be more events later in the future that is going to give you these horse whistles. Now, let's discuss the quality of the mounts before we go into the breeding system. So let's go into my mount management. For example, you have here 4 qualities of the mounts. One of them is not being shown because it requires you to have 2 gold to breed. Now we have the blue, and then we have the purple, and then we have the yellow. One thing you need to know is the quality does affect the base stats only. It doesn't affect anything else. And with the exception of the red quality, every horse comes with 2 stats. They are random, and you can adjust them or change them while you are breeding. If you click at the management here, it's going to say the Celestial Charger is the only one which is having 3 base attributes. Now these are not really much, but I'm going to explain to you and show you how much as an example attributes you are getting with each tier. I have the purple. You can see the average stats, and then I have the orange here. But actually what matters from all of that is the skills that you are having. So I might be having, for example, a golden thunder, this one golden mount, but has shitty skills or just one skill. While on the other hand, I can just have a blue one which has an amazing skills like this one, life saver and fearless. Even though this is a blue mount, still it's fucking 10 times better than my golden mount. Which means basically, if you are planning to get a mount, I would advise you to play around with the blue and try to get the skills that you want. It's way much better than trying to go for the golden one, which gives you an additional 10 might or 10 siege or 10 strategy, which is not gonna do any shit to you. Maybe later in the future you would like to do that, but before you go on and do any searches, you should check the animal research. In the animal research you have 2 baths. The red bath, which I believe you shouldn't touch until you finish up what you want from the green path, because it's related to directly stats. Cavalry path, and you have the pikemen, you have the swordmen, and you have the archers. I don't like to have multiple of marshes, which is why I explained many times I prefer to have a single marsh, because here you go, guys. Imagine if you are focused in 4 marshes, now you have to fucking upgrade everything. Now, for the few first steps, you only need to upgrade one of the same type in order to unlock the next. For example, if I want to unlock the next node for the cavalry, I should only upgrade the cavalry attack, then I will have the next one defense unlocked for me, which I can directly take it. It's something I appreciate. However, if I want to get all unit type attacks, for example, I have to at least upgrade all of these at least by 1 level. If I have to upgrade all of them by 1 level, this means I am forced to upgrade every single one again by just 1 level. Then I can skip and go ahead, and you don't have to go for all health. I think it's gonna cost you so much, but this one you might have to take one of each and then upgrade your troop type that you want. This is the most efficient and best way. But before you even do any of that, you need to upgrade the green one, and especially this one, Keen Eye for Steeds. Why? Because it allows you to search and to gain proficiency or whatever the fuck this again is faster, which means when you're searching here, it is going to give you faster prof something, so you can start getting your golden steeds faster, golden ones or whatever. Again, having gold doesn't mean you had the best thing. It all depends on the breeding and etc. Now, when we go into breeding system itself, for the breeding system itself, it is simple, yet it's fucking complicated. It's simple and fucking complicated at the same time. So, what do you mean by that? You basically breed 2, put 2, and then a third one comes. But there are some conditions to it before you go on and directly rush. If you see the name here, protective or something, it here is called temperament, but this temperament means it's sort of this horse type. This horse type means that the babies that comes out of this horse type have a higher chance of acquiring healing traits through mutation. So mutations means when you earn a new skill. When you earn a new skill has 2 conditions. The first condition is that if the 2 mother and father with 2, whatever you want to call them, this is their first skill that they are going to earn. Which means if they are turtless, skillless, for example, whereas this is a skillless, we put here another one, and this is a skillless. Okay, so no traits here at all. So this is called a mutation. A mutation means you are going to get a trait. This trait comes through mutation. So there are 2 conditions for the mutations: either having no traits at all, which is going to give you a skill, or you are going to obtain a second skill, which happens only in a different scenario, which I'm going to show. So now we have 2 of the horses. The main thing I advise you to do is fucking read. You have to read so much before you attempt to breed randomly. Let's take this one as example. If you read it here, it says the following: it has no buffs, means it doesn't affect anything, it just goes to randomly to the second. Though this is going to be completely random, but here, if you click at the fearless offspring ones with this temperate that is called fearless, have a higher chance of acquiring universal traits through mutation. If you want to know what is the traits of the universal, I can explain it to you. So the universal here is anything that is not might or strategic, anything that is related to normal attack damage, reduction, healing, anything in general that could be called universal, which means could be applied to any type of troops. Okay, but here, for example, here you have this one: mounted hero secondary skill strike strategy. As long as it mentions any damage type, this means it's not universal. But if it mentions anything like normal attack damage, which is universal, what else? Healing, damage reduction, this is called universal, which can actually be applicable to any marsh. Okay, Now, if you go here, take a look at this. It shows you modes of inheritance, which means I don't know really what this bloodline means. It's really a bit complicated, but I know the first two. Inheritance means it either going to get the parent traits, and the mutation acquires new random trait. So again, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. You can obtain skill from the father and mother, or you can obtain a completely new skill, which means you have to fucking read whatever the fuck you are doing. Here in this condition, we have no skills, and this is going to be our new obtained skills, which is going to be random. Okay, it is going to be random. It's going to be completely random if I am using a horse that absolutely has no buffs. But now, since I have added a fearless, then there is a higher chance when I breed both of these, it's going to give me something universal that this might be applicable to all. But here, let us try this one as a universal. Again, you need to know something very important, that everything in this breeding system is random. Means even though it says here universal, it is just having a higher chance of getting a universal, which means any fucking skill could come, but higher chance of getting a universal skill from breeding these two. So let's breed them. Okay, so this is see, universal, as you see, all true damage taken has been reduced. Now that I have might and I have armor, it is actually not bad. Now you need to consider something that is not really very important, but I could consider it a little bit of important, because otherwise you're gonna become insane really. Now when you breed 2 months, for example, there are 2 things you need to be looking for. One that is not really that important, and the other thing is the trait quantity and the quality up there. The quality up there means if you use 2 of the same quality, there is a chance of upgrading your horse into the next quality. If you use 2 blue, you have a chance to the horse becomes purple. If you choose 2 purple, there is a chance that purple is going to be gold. If you use 2 gold, there is a chance the upcoming horse is going to be red. Does it affect the skills? No, it doesn't affect the skills. It affects only the base stats. Now, again, there is one thing if you want to manipulate the stats into whatever you wish. You see here, there is a strategic mark and there is an armor mark. Here there is a strategic mark and siege mark. When you breed those 2, one stats is not going to change and it will improve, but the second stats is going to be completely random. Why? Because the mother and father is different. So for example, I'm using this one, which is strategic and armor, and I'm going to use this one, which is strategic and siege. So the first stats here I'm going to get is going to be strategic, but the second stats here I'm going to get is either going to be an armor or going to be siege. Here, see, the first stat is fixed and I will have an additional chance to get it better than the parents. And the second skill is going to be completely random. You see that? Now, if I picked another one, which is completely random, like this one has might, okay, while the first one has strategic. The second one is armor, while here the second one is armor. This means the armor here is going to be fixed, 100% fixed, and might get improved, but the second one might be strategic or might be might. Now, this is going to be a mutation between Warbred and between an alert. And since the mother and father is completely different modes, there is a chance it either going to follow this one or a chance to follow this one, unless the horse has no buffs at all. That's another condition. This horse is alert, which means it has a higher chance of acquiring strategy damage through mutation, and this is a mutation. This Warbred have a higher chance of acquiring damage traits through mutation might. So this is a might and this is a strategy. Now we have a balanced chance here of getting strategy and might, which is something we don't want. If you are looking for a might skill, you need to find 2 that is war bread. Let me check if I have another war bread. Yeah, I have here another one which is war bread. So if I put war bread with a war bread, okay, high chance of me getting war bread. Okay, now just remember one thing. One of them here is having a skill, while the other one doesn't have a skill. This is not a mutation. Okay, this is not a mutation. This has a high chance of inheriting the skill of the parents, and since I have here one of the skills of the parents, then there is two chances right now. The first chance is that I'm gonna get the same skill as the father or the parents in general. The second condition, that the second result that might be I'm gonna get something related to my damage. So there are actually two chances in here. Okay, now let's breathe and see. See, since I said so here, it came the parent skill, so I did inherit the parent skill. But again, remember something, that they said this on every single thing, that whatever you are doing is still a chance. You can go back here and check here. Inherit one parent trait, or mutation, acquiring a completely new one. So I hope this actually makes sense to you. I know it's complicated, but this is how I understood it. Now another thing is, when you keep breeding the same type over and over, there is something that might acquire that is called bloodline. Where is this bloodline? Here is an example of this bloodline thing. Where it is? Yeah, I have it here. Here, this one, this horse, for example. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let me put it here. Yeah, this horse, it's blue. But what I did here, I kept combining it with fearless. So what happened there is it became golden skills, because every single time you combine, you breed, basically, there is a chance you will obtain a better traits, or get the same traits and upgrade the value. This is affected by the breeding research, animal research in here. Here you will have three things. You'll have this one, traits, inheritance, chance for breeding. If you upgraded this one, so every single time you do the breeding, you have a higher chance of getting the parents' skills. Okay, and if you upgraded this one, so the traits that comes through mutation have a high chance to come with better values. This is how it is. Finally, this one is related to the stats. When you breed with another one, it is most likely going to give you better chance, better stats. Like for example, here let's try to breed two. I don't want to breed them, okay, but if I try to breed them, for example, you see this 2.4 up to 3.5. If every single time you increase the chance, it is going to more likely give you the maximum possible of the stats. It leans toward giving you the maximum possible stats. Okay, now final and the most important thing is getting more skills. So how is that possible? Now there is 100% chance of obtaining traits, but obtaining a second trait or a third trait, which is basic traits, are skills. Okay, so technically in a single marsh with just horses without the additional features, you can get up to 9 skills, which is fucking insane. So for now, if you want to get a trait, you have to combine 2 horses with no traits. This is the basic thing. The horse itself might come up with a trait, and the horse might not come with a trait. However, when you click at the riding ground and go to the breeding center, let's assume you want to get a trait. So you will have to combine two horses together, and this will give you 100% chance of getting a trait. Now let's say you want to get a second or a third trait. What you are supposed to do, you first need to find a horse, and this horse needs to have a trait. Now we have this one as an example. This is a random testing, by the way. You don't have to follow this one because I'm just showing you how to get more than single trait. Now we have this horse, and this horse has a single trait. Now if we want a second trait, we add a second horse who has a trait already. So for example, this one, he has a chance to give us a second trait here. As you can see, this is a chance 90% to remain with a single trait, and this another chance of getting double. However, one of these is going to only be inherited. So you need to be careful in which kind of horses you are breeding. This is why not all the horses you are actually going to use. Some horses you are going to just breed just to get the insight, those insight points, so you increase your research. That's the whole purpose of them. Or maybe by using mass breeding, like killing them in general or dismantling them. Okay, so we have those two. We have a 90% chance of getting a single trait, or we have a 10% chance of getting an additional trait. Remember, this is an alert and this is a warbreed. Since the offspring going to inherit one of those, it's a high chance of, by the way, to getting one of those, but again, it's a chance. So you have here basically 4 chances. Chance number 1, getting the cunning. Chance number 2, getting the battle master. Chance number 3, getting the alert, getting one of the alerts randomly. Chance number 4, getting random warbred skill. See how fucking RNG the system is? Anyway, let us breathe and see what is going to happen. And on the top of that, there is a 10% chance of getting 2 traits. So it became purple, and again, we inherited the father's battle master skill, which we had. Purple or not does not really matter. Again, we can try again if we have 2. This one as an example, another one here with a lifesaver, there is a 10% chance to be having 2. Still 1. Again, we are going to try until we maybe get, okay, let's put one here, alert, and another alert. This is giving us 100% chance for a trait. Okay, continue breathing. Then we take the alert 1 and combine it with another warbred 1, and there is a chance to have 2. Remember, it's a chance, and the chance. It took from the father again, the same. We continue breathing. See, this is the system. This is basically the system. Okay, so we have here fearless. We have 2 fearless. Let's see this one. Strategic. Okay, this one, that's a fearless purple. That's another fearless purple. 10% chance to have a double. And since both of these are fearless, again, we have only 3 chances here, not 4. 1 is getting one of the skills and upgrade it. 2, getting a new fearless. 3, getting a double trait. The third trait is going to be related to fearless, since we are using fearless. And another 10% chance to become orange. This is literally, as you can see, it's full RNG. And there is a chance of making this horse either might or strategic. Holy cow. Okay. Armor, might, 3-man alert. It took their parent's skill, so there's nothing. We have 2 alert here, one strategy, and here's strategy. So let's see alert, and another alert. Double trait, let's see. Okay, so you guys remember when I said it's a chance? Here, mounted hero active skill might damage increased by 4.4. So even though both of them were alert, acquiring strategy damage and alert is supposed to give me strategy damage, and both of them are strategy. It still ended up giving me skill that is related to might. You see? So chance on the top of a chance, on the top of a chance, on the top of a chance. Okay, so here one more, and here another one more. However, this is Dockley states that it has a high chance of getting his parent skill. So there is a chance of getting the Battle Master or overpowered. Let's breed. Okay, see, overpowered, but I got here. This is the first mount I'm getting on this video, which has 2 skills. Good. Now if I want more than 2 skills, it's gonna be super greedy, but all I have to do is add a mount with 2 skills. And where's another mode which has 2 skills? Don't tell me that I fucked up myself and destroyed my mount that has 2 skills. I hope not. Okay, we have this. Okay, can I unmount this mount? Okay, I have this mount. I just need to remove this. Been ridden or hasn't? What? Ow. Okay, for God's sake. Is it this one? No, it's not. It has absolutely nothing. Anyway, this is how it's done. You put 2 mounts which have 2 skills. There will be a chance of getting 3 skills. Let's see it. Okay, here it is. Okay, this is what you will be trying to do. After you get the double trat, now if you put 2 skills here, 2 trats, there will be 70% chance to maintain it and not lose it, and there will be 5% chance only of getting 3 skills. Do you see how much RNG is there? This is basically everything I have known so far, guys. Once I learn additional stuff, I will be making a video, and the next video I'm gonna give you what is basically the best skills you should be looking for. That took so much. Goodbye, guys.